Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Sanch. Hopefully the audio is coming across phenomenal. If not, I do apologize. We are learning as we work our way through this new setup with the new microphone. But welcome back to another episode here on the Bodybuilding News Network, your daily installment of all things hot topic and trending in the world of bodybuilding, aka Bodybuilding Daily. We're going to go ahead and start off today's episode with a physique update, as you just saw, from Akim Williams. Now, these updates aren't too new. We've only really seen the newest physique update was that back lat spread, showing some really phenomenal conditioning and separation in the hamstrings, the glutes, a little bit in the back as well. And this is another recent-ish physique update from Akim Williams and his team over at Muscle Meds. And, you know, I like the conditioning he's bringing so far. And my thought and kind of the story I want you to take away from this snippet of the video for Akim Williams is this is probably, in my opinion, one of the most exciting times we've ever seen Akim Williams get ready for a show and show with relative transparency a phenomenal physique. And it looks like, don't hold my feet to the coals, right? Is that how you say it? The feet to the coals? The feet to the iron. Anyways, sorry. Don't hold me on it that I think he's going to place really, really well. But I said weeks ago, before he even showed that back shot with the cutout hamstrings and the glutes, that I thought he could do well. And I picked him to be my dark horse for the show. I still stand by that. I still think that he could do very, very well at the Arnold Classic. Of course, time will tell if he can carry the conditioning in the lower body to the upper body, specifically in the back. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, please let me know your thoughts on Akim Williams coming into the Arnold Classic and potentially what other shows he might do. He's been on prep for the Olympia and the Arnold, and he's going to be coming into another competitive season where he wants to place a lot better than he did at the Olympia. So that's my thought. Of course, please let me know if you guys have any insight. He is a East Coast fella, so you could expect him to do the New York Pro. The Boston's gone, so it's pretty much going to be the New York for a while when we think of men's open shows. Next up, an interesting developing story that I've heard from a couple different outlets. Justin Rodriguez announcing recently on his Instagram that the Arnold Classic will be the first and last show that he will be doing in the 2023 competitive calendar year. Now, this does come to somewhat of a surprise, but also, if you thought about it, you could have seen it coming. Justin Rodriguez being one of the very few top Olympia competitors, at least over the last few years. His placings did slip this year, not placing in that top 10. He was one of those guys that really the only guy that did 6 shows to include the Olympia last year. Fact check me on that. I'm pretty sure it's 6. I love Justin Rodriguez. I think he has a really great physique. I've spoke in volume about how he looked at prejudging at last year's Arnold Classic. And, genuinely from a fan, my hope that he brings that level of conditioning and perfection of the physique to the prejudging at this year's Arnold. Only caveat is that he actually brings what he brought to prejudging to finals, and he is able to maintain that perfection that he brought at prejudging. I've said before that I thought he was a top 2 competitor at prejudging, and then obviously the finals kind of changed the story for him. But I'm not too bummed out that he's not going to be doing the rest of the year. I think that there's a lot of other exciting storylines for us to chase after, and that's not even mentioning the 212 or Classic Physique. So you have to keep those divisions in mind as well. And to include, we will be covering a lot of NPC shows this year, either in person or virtually as we are right now. And next up, Shaun Clarida has announced on a recent Muscle and Fitness interview that, listen to me, if he wins the Arnold Classic, he will do the Open at the Olympia. So I've seen it on a couple different channels, some very big channels, that he's going to do the Open Olympia. That's not what he said. He said he's going to do the Olympia if he wins the Arnold Classic. And if we're being honest, I don't think that he has the complete physique, respectfully, to win the Arnold Classic. I've been looking at a lot of his physiques and his physique updates and just kind of like the structure of the guy. And, you know, he has a great back, very round, complete, very full. The side tricep is really impressive when you look at the arm, but the chest actually looks quite shallow compared to someone like a Nick Walker, who is the favorite to come into the show. You know, Shaun Clarida is known for being the giant killer, and then we'll also talk about the OG giant killer in just a second. So kind of funny. I'm literally just putting it together right now that they're going to be back to back, the giant killer and the OG giant killer. So I like Shaun Clarida. I think he's going to do well. He has that nasty, grainy conditioning that he's brought to the 212 and he's brought to the Open at last year's Legion. So he's not unfamiliar with competing with people much bigger than him. Even on the 212, you think of, Ahmad Ashkenani is a pretty big, wide, thick dude. What's the guy? Angel Calderon is also like crazy thick, very wide, but they're also very dense. When you start getting into these taller guys, that's where I think he starts to the chinks or it's a chink, right? The chink in the armor. The chinks in the armor start to show. And that's not to say that he can't beat like a Regan Grimes or a Sergio Oliva Jr. He's done it before. So I'm not trying to throw shade at him. I just don't think he has what it takes to win this year's Arnold Classic in the Open. And there's no 212 anymore, so it is what it is. In this one, we're almost to the OG giant killer. I forgot I had Derek Lunsford in here, sharing a physique update as he is officially full-blown into the off-season after finishing second at this most recent Mr. Olympia. He does not need to qualify, and the Open was the only people that it's the top 6 that don't need to qualify, right? Or is top 5? It's one of those two. All the other divisions, it's only the top 3. So Derek Lunsford really shocking the bodybuilding world, the fans, the media. I'm both actually. It's kind of cool to be in that position, but it's going to be interesting to see what he's able to do this year. He shocked a lot of people coming in second at the Olympia, and it's going to be really interesting to see the trajectory and if he can maintain that or potentially improve. Next up, David Henry, the OG giant killer, kind of what I was hinting at just a second ago, has announced, I don't know if he's announced it before or not, but I did see on his Instagram that he has officially started his Masters Olympia prep. And David Henry being one of the OG, was he the Olympia when he was the Olympia champion when it was 202, right? Or was he the first 212 champion? It was one because it was also the what's the English guy's name? Something English. He was also like one of the OG 212, 202 champions. So I love David Henry, Air Force veteran. So I love me some veterans as myself. I am a decorated veteran. I saw it today. Someone's like, if you served during a time of war, you're technically considered a decorated veteran. I'm like, isn't decorated just means you have medals? And I mean, everyone who joins the military has medals. So I don't know. Anywho, sorry. Side tangent. David Henry, still competitive. He's still winning shows. He's still placing top 2, top 3 in shows. He did the Japan Pro last year. He did the Ireland Pro, which was a really cool show. So he's still out there. He's still competitive. He's still competing, and he's going to come into the Masters, and I think he's going to make some damage. And lastly, we have Hunter Hendrickson. Hunter Hendrickson. This is actually a Kansas City gal. I never did get the pleasure to meet her when I was stationed in Independence for those 4 years, but I've seen her do some training footage out of, it looks like OGKC, which is a gym I trained at quite a few times. It was like a 40-minute drive, but it was worth it. It's an awesome gym, but enough about that. She has been sharing some physique updates in that green bikini type type thing, officially announcing her starting her prep. And from that, I can't really tell what show she's going to do, but she says she's starting her water cut at approximately 179 pounds. So unless I'm missing something and she's just going to lean out for, another powerlifting competition, which she's, famous for. She's a very strong woman. I believe she holds some world records at the 165 pound and 181 pound classes, divisions. I'm not sure. I'm not a strength athlete, but I do love to do strength stuff, and that's why I keep getting injured. But I like her physique. She came into last year's Tampa, correct? Right, ladies and gentlemen? She came into the Tampa or the Texas last year. Didn't place as high as, a lot of us were hoping for, but she's going to be coming into her second pro season this year. I'm excited to see how she does. But that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching another installment here on the Bodybuilding News Network. Comment below if you want to see someone specifically on this channel, or tag me in a story on Instagram to get featured on a next installment. I'm Josh Sanch, your host here. As always, thanks for watching. Subscribe, and I'll see you in another one.